Hello beautiful people, I'm RaishPhoenix, and in today's video we're going to be doing face studies. I'm switching it up a bit and I'm going to be drawing men today because I've been feeling a bit rusty with my face studies and my understanding of anatomy in the skull. Men tend to have more prominent features regarding the brow bone or the jawline. I'm starting off with 30 seconds. I'm focusing more on the overall, I guess you could say, position of the head. Starting off with a circle to get the roundness of the upper portion of the skull, and then you'll see me start to carve out the jawline after figuring out where the midpoint of the face is. These are definitely more of a warm-up approach and more so getting myself to not get too caught up in details at this point. Moving on to 5 minutes. So like I said, 30 seconds was a warm-up. I'm going to be spending more time figuring out the position of the eye sockets, the nose, the mouth. You can see on the right that that's pretty much my approach for these. Even though I'm not going to be able to get that much detail in, I really want to work on my base structure because, of course, if let's say you're building a house and the structure is poor but you decorate it really nice, it's like it may look good but it gonna fall. It gonna fall. So my approach is to improve my base structure. As you can see, I'm figuring out like the midpoint of the skull, so that will get me like the midpoint of the overall head will get me the eye placement, and then between the eye placement and the bottom of the chin we'll find the nose, and you guys know, you guys know that. Moving on to detailed studies, for these I'm spending a lot more time on them. This is the image for this first one I'm going to be doing. From what I've learned, of course, with anatomy, just working on figuring out what is the best way for me to approach drawing the skull for me to understand the overall mass and form. By the way, the images that I'll be using for the detailed studies, these I found through Google, and then it either led me to Pinterest or wherever it led me to. I was just looking up male faces, and yeah. I definitely found myself paying attention to my posture while drawing. I've noticed that when I'm more laid back in my chair and I'm not like more over the drawing, like how you guys can see in the shot, I definitely have more of a likelihood to skew or get some type of angle of the face off. After noticing that, I made sure that I paid more attention to how I'm positioning myself over my drawing. Another thing I'm being mindful of while working on these studies is allowing my style to come through and also just tweaking it as I see it happen. With the eyes, I tend to make them a bit bigger. I think that's the anime side in me that starts to kick in, but my intentions are more so to make them smaller, so I will go back with the Kneaded Eraser and adjust them as needed. Moving on to the next face study, so you guys can see my reference on the iPad, but decided to give it to y'all on the screen to make it a little bit easier for y'all to see it. For this next study, I really wanted to use my gouache set. I think it's maybe 56 colors. I'll put it in the description box what set it was that I got. Moving on to prepping this drawing for gouache, I decided to take my kneaded eraser and lightly tap on the drawing so I can lighten it. I didn't want the pencil markings to show through, potentially show through too intense. I'm starting off with adding a base color for the skin, and then after that you'll see me move on to the hair. And I'm lightly kind of, let's say, sketching in the areas where I notice there's warmth in the complexion. I decided to go in and map out the areas where I've noticed there were shadows or midtones or highlights in the hair. I mostly use the flat brush to help with carving out different shapes with this piece, but then the round brush came in very handy for, as you can see, blending out and smoothing out those harder, rougher edges. So these were definitely my main brushes for this piece. I'm starting to map out his suit that he's wearing here. This was one of those moments where I had mixed the gouache and I thought it was too deep, so I went in with this color and I realized that it was too similar to his hair. Even though you see me adding this blue, later on I am going to change it off camera to a deeper shade. So there's more of a difference between his skin being lighter, his hair being the mid-tone of this piece, and his suit being the deepest value. This is where the flat brush came in super handy for the hair strokes. I was going to use a round brush, but I decided to go with the flat brush because I felt like it covered more of a surface area without like the gouache that was on it kind of running out. I also like that the areas where it would skip in the brush stroke added more of a texture. There were parts of his hair that looked like it had more of a green hue to it. I was also going to make this color the background color, but I ended up changing my mind because I felt like it would kind of compete a little bit with the blue hues too much, but it did add a nice touch to the hair, just putting those really thin strokes into it. I decided to also add white to add the really brightest highlight to some areas of the hair. I'm adding the background color now, so I decided to go with a lavender because I felt like a lavender was light enough to not compete with the blues, but also would help really complement this color palette. At this point, I noticed that I should have laid this color down before I had added the, let's say, final details of the hair, because there was a lot of great movement and energy in the brushstrokes that were kind of just standing out from like around the perimeter of the hair. And unfortunately, I did have to cover up some of those areas. I tried kind of painting into the hair area to help still get like those hair-like strands that were coming off of the majority of hair. I mean, it wasn't too bad of a loss. And also because I was so focused on just wanting to use this gouache and not really trying to make this the most magnificent piece ever, you can see that there's some spotty areas in the background where, I don't know, it's like I was kind of fighting with trying to keep it opaque, but then also not watering it down so that it would change the hue of the color. So there's some spotty areas and streaks in the background, but you know, I'll take it. I'll take it. Now that our piece is complete, I'm removing the tape. Decided to keep this footage in for anybody who might find it satisfying to see the tape removal. And that brings us to the end of the video. So here is a completed piece. And our pencil studies from earlier in the video. Thank you so much for watching, bless up, and until next time, sending out much peace, love, and enlightenment. Bye guys.